using the ink. Let me tell you, he has.
Yeah, it's really heavy on the black side.
Yeah, and like I'm just like looking at there's like one like quarter panel on the bottom of this page where the harpoon is going into the wood of the the ship and of the mast, and it is just so detailed. Chunks of wood are flying away from. It just looks great. And
It might be like the best black and white I've seen.
yeah, it's great. It is so good. Needless to say, they get on the boat. They make it to the boat, and the name of the boat is the Pequod.
Yep, Pequod.
And I kind of
and so we haven't met. So the next big scene is meeting Ahab, right?
Right. And I was just gonna
What a character, that guy.
What a character. I was also gonna just sort of blast through some of like the really kind of like there's a few setting the tones, like there's like a crazy guy on the dock saying, he who goes on this ship will never come home.
Ahab.
There's also a last visit to the church for
yeah,
Ishmael.
that was a good scene. There was a really good art. I really liked the art in that church scene.
Yeah, so I mean, you get those broad strokes, and then going back to
but those are all like a whole chapter in the book,
right?
But it's all stuff that really you get from like you're like, all right, he goes to a church and he kind of thinks about this thing, like just the picture. Picture says 1,000 words, and it really does it here.
Yeah, just going back to the artwork, it really has that standalone, like it's getting the job done. And then the other thing I was going to say is like you could sit down and read this book, get the entire story. You could probably do it in 30 minutes. I mean, it's a quick. It's taken Moby Dick and turned it into a quick read.
Yeah,
but you would be doing yourself a disservice because
I actually think you'd have to just not be looking at anything but the words.
Right. And that would be hard to do.
Yeah, it would be hard to do.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's a very substantial book.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about whaling and
well, I was going to say our next big scene, I think, is meeting the captain.
Right. So, but they've
I think the look of the main characters is so well done by the artist. Like, Queequeg is such a character and such a unique, the way his tattoos are and the way he is. He's supposed to be a savage. And, our main character is he has an innocent look, but Ahab he's just like perfectly grizzled. And, with his one leg he is the peg leg.
Yeah, the peg leg captain of the sea. He and this
and he nails up a piece of gold to whoever spots the white whale on the post.
Oh, we'll come to that. But this particular like build up, I thought this was great because like they're already out at sea.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was so cool. Was
like you got to meet him before you ship off.
Yeah, you don't meet the captain, and maybe if you met this guy, you wouldn't get on his boat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're getting. You think they did it on accident?
So you see the entire crew below deck trying to sleep, and you hear this tappa of Captain Ahab's, missing foot on the deck, and it is such a cool thing. And then when you do meet him, he is not a smiley character. He's got
some good battle scars.
Yeah, he is a cool looking dude. We meet a lot of characters, but we get to
everyone has a different face.
Everybody has a different face. But you don't have to really spend a lot of time getting and knowing the characters. The main characters in this book are Queequeg, Ishmael, Ahab, and Starbuck.
Starbuck, the first mate.
And right off the bat, like Starbuck knows there's something amiss with Captain Ahab.
Yeah. He's not super thrilled about the situation.
Yeah, and this is I folded down. I didn't fold it down. I put a Post-it note on it. This is where Captain Ahab says what our mission is. Our mission isn't just to go whaling. Our mission is, and he doesn't say it quite so many words, but our mission is vengeance.
Vengeance. That's a good way to put it.
And vengeance on a particular whale. I imagine like some an albino whale that is bigger than most whales. And he is willing to give a gold, what are they called? Spanish doubloon. To the first guy who spouts this or sees this white whale. If you sight this white whale, this doubloon's yours, and he nails it to the mast. And this scene is crazy. He's wacky. Like, he is seriously. Yeah. This is where you get the first glimpse of his wackadoodleness.
Yeah. One of the things we haven't mentioned is like there's like chapter cuts.
Oh, sure.
With like little, it'll have like a little bit of written dialogue that's like a quote from the book. And it does a good job of like, transitioning between major scenes, because there's quite a few chapters that come up right after this where there's almost no words. Like there's a lot of like, there's this whole progression where they go out to sea and they find a whale and they harpoon it and they bring it into the ship and they haul it up and they cut it down and they take it into its parts. And it's like 6 or 7 pages.
Yeah, I really did like that.
And it's like some of the best art when the stuff where it's on the ship and they're cutting it up and it's like all like the sea is black and the night is black and they've been working through the night and you can hardly even recognize the carcass and all the fat is being boiled down in the vats and the it's really cool.
This really scared me. When I don't know what character this is, but once you find and get a whale, somebody needs to go and kill the whale. So they'll harpoon it until they can get it staying above ground or staying above water. And then somebody actually has to like shimmy their body out onto top of this whale and then hit it in the right spot to get to the, hit it with a death blow.
Mm-hmm.
And that scene is just so freaky because the sharks have already started showing up. And like the blood is flowing and you're just like slip sliding around on top of this whale. It's something I hadn't thought of, but once it was there, I was like, oh, that's probably very true. Oh, what about this whale page? I want a full poster of this. This is like, it's 2 pages of just, or not whale page, shark page. It's just 2 pages of just sharks just going nuts underneath these boats. Yeah. And they're just sort of chomping at the leftovers. I just love the whale carcass. I know it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, typically, but a whale carcass, man, and the boiling of blubber. Yeah, this goes on for page after page of just like, that's, when it's on, man. You gotta be working. You gotta go. Strike while the iron's hot. You got the blubber to boil. And they get a haul off these first couple whales. Mm-hmm. And like into the night, like James said, this whole page is almost all completely black with ink. Yeah. It feels like it's going to come off in my hands. It's awesome. Yeah. Almost. And then the day is like a new day dawn. And then it's the next day. And like they just leave what's left of this carcass for, the fish and the birds. Yep. The sharks and the birds. Drop the carcass, all the chains in. Yeah. And then they just start heading out to sea, looking for the white whale. And yeah, so we can kind of go through this a little quicker because there's a lot of like smaller parts along the way, but or like I guess we can do it in bigger strokes. But like they meet another ship. That's kind of the next bigger scene is like they run into another ship and they're like, well, we found some good whales. Have you seen the white whale?
And the other guy's like, "Oh, don't go after it. It's a fool's errand. Don't go after the white whale." But obviously, Captain Ahab he's crazed.
He's a man possessed, and he and his first mate Starbuck have a back and forth where Captain Ahab is just, "Don't test me, man. Don't try and turn. Don't try and turn," because they get to a point where their ship is fully loaded. They have the money. They
have all the good stuff. They can turn it in.
They can turn and go home. Queequeg gets sick, and this is a pretty, there's several pages.
That's a big series of scenes, because he calls to have his own coffin made.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool scene in both the book and in here. It looks so cool in the darkness.
Yeah, because Queequeg he fades fast. I mean,
he's like, "I need someone to make my own coffin." That's the scene, man.
But then he pulls through. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he does. But in the end, the coffin, it saves him.
Yeah, it's all symbolic.
There's a lot of symbolic imagery going throughout this. It's definitely from the book that it's able to do this, but some great there are these very solid scenes that this adaptation is able to take and kind of centralize and use as the anchoring points between. So kind of the points we were mentioning, it does a really good job of anchoring a collection, a point around that, and then filling in around the edges with some great, just straight action scenery, without any dialogue.
Yeah. More is, but then it does kind of also give you some, lend you a little bit of dialogue here and there, because,
and it seems like the dialogue could almost be quotes from the book.
Yeah. So, just to continue, down the road to madness, Ahab, gets, the smithy on board to build his harpoon, which he is certain to take down the white whale with.
It's a special one. After
he forges it, that he is since and I thought this was pretty sneaky of Ahab to tempt the men with rum and then pledge their allegiance to getting this white whale with him. So now you can't turn back.
It's a very basic underhanded trick.
And so then then he also underhands them and gets them to forge his harpoon and to cool it with their own blood. Yeah. Because what could be more sinister, right?
Exactly. That's how you get a whale.
Yeah, and
it was made out of special, expensive metal and.
Yeah.
All the cool stuff forged in the bowels of hell.
Yeah, and then it's just more of what you would expect of a crazy person losing his grip on reality when he throws and smashes the sexton away. Here's Ahab. He's just losing it. He's lost it. And he is. Yeah.
He's too committed to the direction that he's going that he can't stop or go back.
And they get the opportunity.
This white whale, and even though he can leave, if he leaves, it'll be another 5 years before he even has a chance to see the whale again.
Yeah, and he's not.
He's on its tail. He's right behind it.
And so there's a terrible storm, a storm that they could have used to their advantage to turn the ship and use its wind to push them forward back towards home, but Ahab's not having it. Oh, and then there's it just keeps going from there. But then when we now I also kind of wanted to make a couple points when so we're 25 pages in when we meet Ahab. We are 60 pages in when we meet the white whale.
Yeah, it does a really good job of pacing.
And there she blows.
Mm-hmm.
And who gets the doubloon?
Oh yeah, who was it actually?
It was Ahab. He went so nutty